Behind the glitter of the world stage that is always filled with the cheers of thousands of fans, there are small stories that often escape the public's attention. The story is not always about music records or big awards. Sometimes, the most touching story comes from a simple relationship between two people who strengthen each other. One of the stories that has recently become a hot topic among fans is Park Jimin's shocking confession about the figure who has been his inspiration in working hard. And that person turns out to be their own group's magne, Jungkook from BTS. For many people, Jimin is known as a perfectionist figure. On stage, he always performs stunningly with a smooth but energetic dance, an emotional voice, and an expression that can make thousands of spectators obsessed. But behind all that, Jimin once admitted that the journey to that point is not always easy. He once doubted himself, once felt not good enough, even once thought about whether he really deserved to be on the big stage with the other members. In moments like that, Jungkook's figure actually becomes a mirror that makes Jimin rise again. This may sound surprising to many fans. All this time, the public often sees Jungkook as a younger brother who is protected by his hyungs. He is a magne, the youngest member who debuted at a very young age. But who would have thought, behind that image, there is a hard work mentality that is so strong that it is able to influence other members who are even older than him. Jimin once told a moment that was very imprinted in his memory. During the trainee period and the beginning of their debut, their training schedule was very full. Almost every day is filled with dance practice, singing, and various other preparations. Many trainees are exhausted, some even give up. But in the midst of that situation, Jungkook always looks like a person who never runs out of energy to study. When the practice is over and some people choose to rest, Jungkook often returns to the practice room alone. He repeated the choreography many times. He checked his own practice recording. He tried to fix the movement that he thought was not perfect. Even often, he keeps practicing until late at night. According to Jimin, the sight initially made him surprised. For him, Jungkook has been very talented since the beginning. His voice is stable, his dance is strong, and his ability is developing very quickly. But what makes Jimin really touched is the fact that Jungkook never feels enough with the talent he has. He kept working hard as if he still had to pursue something. That's where Jimin began to realize something very important. Talent may be able to bring someone to the stage, but it is hard work that keeps someone there. Jimin's confession then spread widely among fans. Many feel touched because the relationship between BTS members is much deeper than what is seen on the screen. They are not just coworkers or groupmates. They are people who learn from each other. Jimin once said that seeing Jungkook working hard made him feel like he couldn't give up. If someone younger than him can practice nonstop, then he must do the same. Since then, Jimin started to push himself further. He spends more time in the practice room. He continues to improve his dance technique. He tried various ways to make his appearance more perfect. Many fans may not know that behind the beautiful movements they see on stage, there are thousands of hours of rehearsals that are done secretly. And part of that spirit, according to Jimin himself, comes from Jungkook. This also shows one of BTS's greatest strengths as a group. They not only develop individually, but also encourage each other to be better. When one person works hard, the others are also inspired. When one person succeeds, the others also feel proud. Relationships like this are not easy to find in the competitive entertainment industry. But for BTS, togetherness is the main foundation of their journey. Jungkook himself rarely talks about his influence on other members. He is known as a figure who is quite quiet when discussing such things. But many people who know him say that Jungkook does have an extraordinary dedication to his work. He always wants to try new things. That he studied music production. He improved his vocal skills. He continues to train his physical strength so that his performance on stage remains maximum. All of that was done without many words, and maybe that's why the influence feels so strong. When the story of Jimin's confession reappeared on the internet, many fans began to see their relationship from a different perspective. They realized that inspiration doesn't always come from older or more experienced people. Sometimes, inspiration actually comes from someone who stands right next to us every day. Someone who secretly shows the meaning of hard work through actions, not words. This story also reminds many people that the journey to success rarely goes alone. Behind every big achievement, there are often others who give a small but very meaningful boost. For Jimin, The encouragement came from Jungkook. And for BTS fans around the world, this story is another proof that the relationship between the group members is much deeper than just professional cooperation. They are families that form each other. On stage, they may appear as seven big stars shining together. But behind the scenes, they are still ordinary people who learn from each other, strengthen each other, and inspire each other. And maybe that's the reason why their stories continue to attract the attention of the world, because behind music and fame, there is a story about hard work, friendship, and inspiration that feels very real. The story about Park Jimin's confession, inspired by Jungkook's hard work, seems to open up the other side of BTS's long journey that is rarely truly understood by the public. Many people only see the end result: grand stage, world concerts, international awards, and millions of fans shouting their names. But behind all that, there is a long process that is filled with fatigue, doubt, and nonstop practice. After Jimin's confession circulated again in various fan communities, many old stories began to be remembered again. One of the most talked about is how Jungkook from a very young age has shown unusual discipline. When he joined as a trainee, he was still a teenager. He is in a stressful environment, surrounded by people who also struggle hard to pursue the same dream. But according to some stories that have been shared by the members, Jungkook has a habit that makes everyone secretly amazed. He didn't just train when the coach asked him to. He practiced because he felt he had to get better every day. Jimin once remembered a night that felt very quiet in their training building. Some of the lights were turned off, the other trainees went home, and the atmosphere felt empty. Jimin, who was still thinking about difficult choreography, suddenly heard the sound of soft music from the practice room. When he opened the door, what he saw was Jungkook, alone, with sweat already drenching his clothes. Jungkook still repeats the same movement many times. No camera, no coach, no one watching. There is only a teenager who continues to practice as if a big stage is waiting for him tomorrow. That moment, according to Jimin, felt very strong that he didn't say anything at that time. He only stood for a few seconds in front of the door, then closed it again slowly. But in his heart, something changed. Jimin realizes that hard work is not just about fulfilling obligations. Hard work is a personal decision, something that is done even when no one is watching. Since that night, Jimin began to pay attention to Jungkook in a different way. He saw how their magne always tried to improve himself. If today he can sing well, then tomorrow he wants to sing even better. If today he has mastered a move, then tomorrow he will try to make it more perfect. There is no satisfaction that takes too long. And for Jimin, that attitude is contagious. Slowly, he started doing the same thing. He increased his training time. He challenged himself to master a movement that previously felt impossible. Even when his body is tired, he often remembers the sight of Jungkook practicing alone at night. That made him get up again. This kind of relationship then becomes one of the unique forces in BTS's journey. Many people think that in a group, older members are always a source of inspiration for younger ones. But in their case, inspiration came from all directions.